Good morning, hello, and happy Thursday. It has been a couple days since I was live. I took Tuesday and Wednesday off. My work had requested that I go in person for hanging out with them, some planning, some in-person meetings, all that stuff. And whenever I go into the office, I take the time to ride my bike in. It's 10 miles or more. Oh yeah, it's 20. Jeez. It's a long bike ride, but it's fun, and that basically meant lots of getting up and early. I basically left at 7 o'clock in the morning, so right when I would normally stream, and but it was good. It was great. Although all the way there, so Tuesday and Wednesday we had this fun things. I don't know if you've heard about it. There's been some people chatting about Rust and other things, trademarks, all that fun stuff. That all happened like what, Monday night, Tuesday morning. I think that's when I started receiving messages about it in like many different places. And it's like, hey, how is this? Like, what do you think about this? And I initially thought, okay, maybe I should do a video on it, like Tuesday night after I got home from work. But then I decided after like at the end of the day after writing back, okay, no, let's take a break. Let's wait for it. Let's let things simmer down. Let's think about it. Chat with more people, and then we'll just do this at the normal next stream, which is now. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let me create a new page for this. All right. So what do I want to call this? I might want to also like load up a couple other things in here too. Let's see. Maybe this could be Scratchbox or notes, thoughts. We could do that. Let's see. Instead of the LMS, let's head. Yeah, let's go into code and we'll go into what do I have in here? Let's go into playgrounds. Oh, maybe it's not even code. Maybe that's the thing. Is I put this in all right. CD down, take thoughts. Wait, really? Oh, yeah. So this is interesting. Every once in a while, Zellage gets into this state where I have to do a CD in order to like have it remember that it's not like it's me. I think it's like it. It's like Zellage's permissions it's trying to run on. That doesn't seem right. So all right. So let's see. I have code in here, so we're gonna do a thoughts and here, and then let's do I don't want to call it legal because I'm not a lawyer and therefore none of what I say is legal advice to myself or to anybody else. Maybe we'll just do trademarks or something. Trademarks. All right. So this is where we're gonna hang out today. Let's create a new file. We'll do the Rust. Well, new information. We thought it was the Rust. Um, what is it called? It's the Rust project and the Rust Foundation, but it's actually the Rust project. The Rust project asked the Rust Foundation to create it for them. Um, so maybe I'll just call this Rust. All right. So Esitsu, hello. How are you doing today? How are your last few days? I don't know why I don't have the Rust projects um, website bookmarked. That would probably be a good idea. I should just do that now. Let's create a new folder in here called maybe. Wait, I have Rust. I'll just put it in Rust. And you have. Where's your blog? Where's the blog? Oh, we should open up all of this too. Blog, there it is. Oh, it's the wait. I thought it was the Rust. Is this not the Rust projects blog? Apparently not, because this is just the most recent everything else. Maybe it's governance. All okay except for this bad weather making the dogs unhappy. The dangers of working from home. Yes. I'm there with you. Like when Zilby, my cat, is unhappy, it can be a little bit distracting. It actually is nice for me to go in once per week, like partly to see everybody else, partly to get away from Zilby and just to do my own thing. Maybe the Rust Foundation website. Yeah, we could try it. Let's go to Rust Foundation. Search for that. All right. Well, we see that. Where is there? I don't see anything else here. There's a cat on your lap, and it's officially difficult to type. Yep, that's cats. Also, hello Pax. Welcome, 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 welcome. Okay, so how about Rust Lang project? How about that? There's the Rust Lang project. Okay. All right. Well, here's their Twitter. All right. Well, here we can get to the draft with this way. So that's okay. No, no, don't turn on. Give me that. Oh, and then let's open up draft itself. All right. How about okay, so that was Rust project. No. Okay, Rust Lang. Here it is. The blog.rust. Okay. Is this a different blog? Interesting. This must be a different blog. All right, so interesting documents for us to look at today. We've got the actual proposed trademark itself. We've got that. I don't need you anymore. You. Okay, so we have their policy right now, which we could compare against to see what it was previously. Licenses is not helpful. Code of conduct is not helpful. And you're not helpful anymore. Okay. All right. So for my sort of investigation slash like looking through this, basically these two documents are the only ones that matter. There's a lot of people been saying things and sending things to me, but like if I can't find it in here, then it doesn't. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist in the proposal. The other thing is, I am not sure if they've been updating this throughout the time. I don't know. It's a Google Doc, which means they certainly could go in there and sort of change things. I don't know if there's any like way to tell if they've locked it and we're looking at a specific version. That's another like interesting potential here. So the other thing is that we're going to be looking at through the eyes of this show. So like Brooks Builds Twitch stream, Brooks Builds YouTube videos, the learning management system that I'm creating, and the courses that I'm going to be creating, and maybe any other projects that I do, live stream or not. So we're going to look through that lens. I'm not really going to like pay attention to how this affects anybody else. Um, so let's all right. We'll start with, I guess this is going to be Rust proposed trademark change thoughts. I should be consistent. I guess I just have notes for this. Notes is going to be this. I, Brooks, am only considering how this affects Brooks builds and its projects. All right, so questions? I guess like the questions slash concerns. So things that I have been let's see, how do I want to do this? Do I want to do this as like a list or more of like another section? I don't know. All right, so there's a couple which is like can I continue using my starting soon screen on Twitch? All right. More sort of questions for us to look into. Can I create courses with the word Rust in them? Can I use the Rust Lang logo in my Twitch and YouTube thumbnails? If you have any other sort of questions we should ask, shout them out. I guess another big one is, can I use the Rustlang logo in my course, in my courses? So this would be in, I guess, like in the LMS. To be more specific, these wouldn't be the YouTube videos per se, but like in the actual LMS, can I just go ahead and use that maybe as like tags to show like, hey, this is a Rust course, especially if I ever branch out and start doing other courses too, which I am not convinced I wouldn't do anyways. I don't know if there's anything else that I really want. Are you allowed to have subscriptions enabled while showing the Rust logo? Oh, good question. So this would be, can I make money? Wait, can I make money? There's a better word for that, right? Can I monetize? Can I monetize my content that displays the Rust logo? I've been asking questions and not using a question mark for all of them. Also, good morning, Naram. Hello. Okay. If we have any others, just shout them out, and we'll go through that. So let's begin with can I continue using my starting soon screen on Rust? So as a quick sort of, uh, if you didn't see the starting soon screen this morning because you just came here, this is what it looks like. It is a fairly big, prominent Rust logo. So it's the mark. I have it spinning, and I've changed it from black to white, to be on a black background. So if we look at the original logo policy, I don't know, like, I thought that I had looked at it, but I don't think I looked at the entire document. I think I just sort of saw, okay, we have the two marks and logos. We have that. Yeah, so one thing that's big is even in the current rules, I I am breaking the rules in the fact that I'm allowing it to be like large and in the way. So in the current rules, so the answer, like, I guess, short answer, no. The more interesting thing. So currently, by the way, can you read this? Is this font big enough? I can make it larger. Currently, the requirements are that I don't make the content look. I don't use the logo in a way that makes it look like I'm um uh or I guess like not like me. It's like the content is uh part of the official Rust project and or um, foundation. I have um, starting soon screen is a large um, Rust logo that dominates the screen and could be interpreted as official. Size is good. Excellent. Okay. Let's make sure this doesn't go behind me at all. So I'm gonna split this right. All right. Now something interesting to consider for reference is this is the old ones. So current rules, not proposed. So I think this is something that like a lot of people are missing right now is that there's rules there's rules as it is right now, and this one isn't changing that much. I don't think there might be more guidelines. All right, so now let's take a look at proposed. So let's also do maybe before we'll do current rules. So current, it's actually put you up here. So current, short answer no. Currently, that's saying reference. All right, let's do another one here. So proposed. My guess is if it's no under the current, and the understanding is that they're making things a little bit at the very least more strict, then this should probably also be a no. But let's go find the specific section and take a look at it. So in the proposed rules, I want use for software, used for non-software. So this would be not really conferences. Oh, you know what? Because I do an educational show, I get the education rules, which is slightly different. I forget where that is. We may have to just go through. So they have the summary of it. So we could look at the summary first. Inclusion of the marks in educational materials. May use the Rust name in book and article titles and the logo and graphic components. So as long as you make it clear the Rust project or foundation has not reviewed, approved, endorsed your project. So again, so short answer, no. So same reason for above. Following, or I guess how do I do a? Is there a way to do a quote in Markdown? I might just do this. Inclusion of the marks. Okay, so I throw that in there, and then that is proposed summary. Proposed summary. Let's go grab that out of here. Now, let's see if we could find a specific section. Not the Q&A necessarily. I wonder if they've been updating this with things as people have been chatting about it. Okay, so there's universal considerations, but then usually, in my like understanding, which again I'm not a lawyer, so this understanding could be very wrong, is that a specific thing outweighs a general thing. Okay, so the policy covers all of these things. Oh, quotes are using that. Okay, okay. Let's delete you. Okay, so I can do something like that. Okay. I like it. Okay, using it for software, but they're talking about, okay, so you may use the word marks, but not the logos. We'll be coming back to this section later. Websites, publications, presentations, and educational materials. You can use the word marks in book and article titles and the logo and illustrations within the work as long as the use does not suggest the rest of the. Okay, so basically, same exact stuff. This is 513. So this would be 513. Oh, I have to do it for all of them. Okay, so 513 publications, presentations, and educational materials. I am absolutely allowed to use the mark. I just cannot make it look like it's official. Um, Now there's the other thing, which is that I have technically changed the mark. I've changed it by changing color to black, sorry, to white, and also putting it against a black background and then rotating it. So let's look at the original ones. Using the REST trademarks, even in modified form for social events like meetups, tutorials, and the like, is allowed for events that are free to attend. For commercial events, including sponsored ones, please check in with us. The event cannot appear to be officially endorsed or run by the REST project without written permission. So in this case, I am absolutely allowed to change the color and rotate it. So in this one, uh, I am allowed to change the Rust logo um, to be a different color and also rotate it. Okay, so that's something good to know there. Now, I believe that this is one of the things that has changed and that is causing people to be upset. I'm not exactly sure why. Like I'm kind of like getting what I deserve by changing somebody else's like legal entity, like legal representation for my own stuff. But let's see if they talk about the mark. And that might be under universal. Here it is. Use of logos. You may not change any logo except to scale it. This means you may not add decorative elements, change the colors, change the proportions, distort it, add elements, or combine it with other logos. So in my in one of the courses I was doing, I think Introduction to You course, I use the Rust logo in the thumbnails, and it's a black logo. I I did not attempt to change the what is it called? Um Proportions. I attempted to just scale it up, and it looks exactly like it's normal. So that is legal. But in my oh wait. However, when the context requires the use of black and white or grayscale graphics and the logo is color, you may reproduce the logo in a manner that produces a black and white or grayscale image. We also provide versions of the logo in black and white or grayscale. Is so that sounds like they're going to provide a white logo or gray logo, basically something that can work against a black background. So this one is interesting. So proposed. Uh, Short answer, no. Same reason for above. Um, I don't need that. Proposed. Okay. Wait. Summary. So I want that. Um, what was it here? Okay, no, that's all fine. But down here, let's put in another quote. I don't have to do it in spaces between the lines, but I'm doing that anyways. All right, use of the logos. We can absolutely use it. So we can use the logo with as part of courses as long as it isn't um, like trying to show that the Rust project and or foundation is like officially endorsing the course. It has to be unmodified other than scaling. They will provide a version of the logo that will work against all like black backgrounds. All right, so good to know. Basically, I don't need to change much. I need to stop. Oh, I need to also. Okay, so I also can't rotate the logo. So let's do changes needed. So things that I need to change to make this better, I need to reduce the size of the logo uh, to be smaller than the Brooks Builds logos. Um, add the Brooks Builds logos. And then perhaps like somewhere in the description of the stream. So like add into the description. Like I don't actually need to add into the description that I'm not affiliated. It's more of if there's a question because I make it sort of look like it. So you know what I should do to help with that? Let's add in other logos that we work on too. So reduce the size, add into Brooks Builds logos, um, and make larger than anything else. And then some add in logos for technology that I'm using. So something good that I could do is I can create a starting soon screen that's like for the project that we're working on. So if it's building the LMS, I'm using Helix, I'm using Zellage, yes, I'm using Rust, I'm using U, I'm using not using Axum, I'm using Hasura. I can use all of their marks and put them in there. And so Rust just becomes one of many, and clearly they can't be endorsing something that's like cross all those things. The only one endorsing it is mine, and I can make that bigger and more prominent. So, all right, changes needed. That's what I need to do that to stay legal. Now that's to stay legal, and currently, if they changed, so if the proposal goes through, then I need to also um, switch switch Rust logo to white or gray logo provided by Rust. Rust. Call it Rust Lang, and then not really anything else. That's what I would need to do. That's my reading of this. Okay. Can I create courses with the word Rust in them? So let's do current, and then we'll do proposed and current. We have I guess like short answer, and then we'll go on from there. So in the current system, using the word Rust on websites, brochures, documentation, academic papers, books, and product packaging to refer to the Rust programming language or the Rust project is allowed. And then anything selling t-shirts, hats, and other artwork merchandise. Okay, so that's not like courses. Okay, using Rust trademarks, which includes the name, uh, is allowed for events that are free to attend. So when I start doing selling for commercial events, but it's not really a commercial event, is it? So the stream is perhaps an event, but it's free to attend. So if I did like a subscription only stream, I might run into that. Interesting also, using Rust trademarks and modified is allowed for personal use or by a small group of community members. So if we had a large group of community members, even the old system, I would not be able to modify the mark. So as far as I can tell, yes, I'm allowed. And then is there something I can copy that sort of shows that? This one probably. So short answer, yes. Throw that in there and say I can use the word Rust as long as it doesn't appear that it's official from the Rust project or foundation. All right, let's do next, which is going to be proposed. Oh, I already did the proposed. Come on. Short answer. Let's go find out there. Use a trademarks in text. I think I can go with the educational ones. Let's go find that section again. And it's actually nice. They actually have an educational section now where they, as far as I can tell, they did not before. You can use the word marks in book and article titles and the logo and illustrations within the work as long as the use does not suggest that the Rest Foundation is published, endorsed, or agrees with your work. So I absolutely can use this in the titles of the courses that I'm selling. So I can do introduction to Rust. I don't have to do like introduction to Rust, like parentheses, like not official or something like that. It's just introduction to Rust. So short answer, yes. And there's that. Again, as long as I don't make it appear that the course is endorsed by Rust, I'll be fine. Okay, so that was that one. Can I create courses with the word Rust in them? Yes. All right, next up. Can I use the Rustlang logo? Is there a markdown? Alacrity. What is it called? I'm gonna go to Alacrity. Having it all be just like pure white is. It's not Alacrity. It's Helix. No, I do not want that. And your reward is to be banned. Okay. Documentation. I want the language. Wait, I do want the documentation. I want to go to the language support. I want some kind of markdown. Marksman. Okay, so you need marksman. Where do I get marksman? Is there where do I install marksman? I'm gonna okay. Marksman? Is it marksman or marksman? Marksman. Install CLI. Tech Division Marksman. Don't necessarily see an official looking one. Markman, that's not it. Something I'm not super happy about is I wish that these were links to like the official pages of like where do I go? Where do I find it? Okay, maybe I can install it with it's iTerm over here. Maybe I can brew install it. Let's do suit my other account. Brew search for that. Unknown command. Oh. It like removed a space in there. Okay, there's a formula for marksman. So let's info that. Make sure it's what I think that it is. Okay, so it's Arti Pianiki. Oh, I mispronounced that. I am so sorry. But that is the language server protocol for markdowns. Let's go ahead and install it. Okay, so that's installed, which means theoretically I could come back to here. Let's quit quit and save, open up Helix again, open up Rust, and maybe it will like give me better language support, possibly, perhaps, or just be exactly the same. Okay, never mind. Okay, so proposed. So can I use the Rust Lang logo in my Twitch and YouTube thumbnails? So I can use the word marks in this. Does this also? I think one of these, right? We can use the logo. It's this one right here. So you can use the word marks. Okay, so you could use the logo as long as you don't change it. So I will copy that. And it's the same one here. So short answer, yes. I cannot modify the logo. The logos that work on any background will be provided. Oh, and you know what? The other thing is like this is, can I use that? This is the proposed. And I think for current, the short answer is yes. I can definitely use it, and I think it actually. Do I have the same one? We can go find it again. And because this is, it's not really an event. Maybe I can go find it. This is the problem with the old one, is that it's hard for us to find where it is. So that's social events, tutorials. It's like this is the closest that I can come to. Artwork and merchandise, non-commercial projects. For commercial projects, please check in with us. So this would be closer to the tutorials. In the course, I might need to do this one. But in the tutorials, it should be good. Okay, so proposed short answer, yes. Wait, no. Continuing down. It's this one. Current short answer, yes. That. Okay, so pretty much no changes for either of those. Can I use the Rustlang logo in the LMS? So this is where it gets interesting. So if it's the front page, if it's something that you're not paywalled to see, so that would be like the list of the courses. So, oh, we're going to have it so you can see the list of courses. You can go to the courses. You can see that I don't really expect to need to use the Rust logo like in the course material very much. I expect to use it in like the promotional side. So like, hey, you can buy this course, you can use it. That's all going to be free to see. So let's go proposed. No, this is current. See if we can find evidence here. So this is non-commercial. For commercial projects, including crowdfunding or sponsor ones, please check in with us to ensure that your use does not appear official. So basically, I'm seeing this in multiple areas here. For anything that would be selling, they're asking to contact them. And this isn't the current one. Okay, so I think that's what it is. Is basically I need to ask for permission in the current system. So short answer, maybe. I need to ask for permission to use the marks for the courses to make sure that they don't accidentally look official. Now, it's interesting because like the way I'm planning on doing it, it's not going to look official. It's going to be like, hey, this is the technology you're going to use. So I think it's going to be important to like keep that in mind before I request permission for it. And then maybe I can also like request permission for like a blanket permission. So like, hey, can I just use this in the future? Every time I create a course, do I have to like reach out again? Because that would suck to have to just wait for them to get back to me, because who knows how long it would take for them to check that email and say like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're totally allowed to take this, to do this. Now let's do proposed. Sure. Okay. So proposed. This would be not just web page. Okay. This is publications, presentations, and educational materials. You can use the word marks in book and article titles and a logo and illustrations within the work as long as it does not suggest. So this, to me, is because it's not necessarily software. It's not promotional. Okay. So because they have an educational section here, and that's what this is, absolutely, I am allowed. So yes. So in this case, if this proposal went through, it would be easier for me and less work so far. No changes really necessary for it. I just have to make sure that it's not looking like I'm publishing them or endorsed by them. Okay. Current. Can I monetize my content that displays the Rust logo? So I think we found that yes, I can monetize it, and there's different types of monetization, right? So maybe we should under current system, short answer, yes, if content is free. So I think that's a big deal here, is that the content must be free to access, and then I can monetize it. So I can make money from commercials. I can go like I've talked about it every once in a while. I have not turned on the partnership to YouTube. So I've not like asked them for a partnership. So therefore, any commercials you see, any advertisements you see on YouTube, they're not mine. They're not. None of that is going to me. Uh, if you're still watching this on the YouTube channel, let me know. Are you getting commercials on this? Because like I go to my channel every once in a while, not logged in as myself, and I see commercials. I'm like, if you're getting commercials anyways, should I be doing something about that? And then I just don't do anything about it. Okay, so is allowed for events that are free to attend. So if I want to have a private video or I don't know, like project, like tutorial, then I need to ask for permission. And that's here. Proposed. Short answer. So I think this is going to be the same thing that we have up here. Educational materials. I want to say that this is fine. So yes. Luckily, I'm not planning on including the marks in the gated, in like the pay gated content. So except my own. It's really going to be just like links to like their pages, links to other things, but that's perfectly fine. You can't, that's not like trademarkable. I guess like a caveat you should put at the top of the document. Okay, notes. If the proposal goes through, I am absolutely going to contact and contact my attorney. Is that how you spell it? Attorney. And request a like request or like a review, like a review and to ensure I am legal. Like I haven't done that right now. I'm pretty small and like I don't really make very much money on this, so it's not basically it's not considered commercial. But there are some of these things that I do need to change in the current system, so I need to make those changes anyways. We're coming up near the end of the stream, so maybe tomorrow morning we can spend some time creating a new starting soon screen because we need to do that. Just for how it is right now. Let's see. Anything else? Oh yeah, another thing would be before making drastic changes, I would ask for permission to use the marks if I found or if I like felt that I couldn't use them. According to the I don't know, according to the proposed changes. So basically, hey, they're going to say not to do this. Instead of me just saying, well, I can't do that anymore, I'm going to send them an email and say, hey, this is what I have been doing. Can I continue doing this? And this is what it is. and that way give them a chance to say like yes you can do it, or officially say no instead of just assuming it. Now I might have to like change away from it in the meantime while I'm waiting for a response, but at least then I can go back and start using it again once I'm there. That being said, looking through this, the proposed changes for my stuff is not going to is not really going to affect me that much. And I think the key for it, like the reason why it's not really going to affect me that much, I didn't when I created Brooks builds. First of all, I created Brooks builds before Rust, before I was doing Rust stuff, so that helps a lot. Um, it's a generic company name. If you're ever thinking about creating a company for any purpose, please don't tie it to an existing company or an existing project. You never know if you want to pivot away from that. And as we see here, like it absolutely is not going to be allowed to like put Rust in your company name because that's going to make people very confused. Is it Rust Foundation Company or is it something completely else? You don't want to do that, and they probably can go after you. In fact, I'm really curious about that. What's the current system say about somebody like in your company name? I'm a little bit concerned that it's not stated clearly, which means that they can still go after you. So the most basic rule is that the Rust trademarks cannot be used in a way that appears to a casual observer official. That, without too much more information here, is is difficult. So like in a website, like in the domain name. So like if it's in a path, that's probably okay. In the actual domain name itself, in the company name, that could be a problem. And that's in the uh, original one because like that makes it look more official. The other thing that I've been seeing a lot of people having I'll be honest, it's still beyond me how a common English word like rust can be trademarked. So I think and again, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really answer this too well. It's not that the word rust is being trademarked. It's the branding for the Rust projects. That's not just the word rust. It's the word rust in the context of a programming language is trademarked. So if I were to say I'm removing Rust from this truck, and I create a domain name called Rust Truck, like Truck Rust Removal or something like that, then that would be allowed. They could potentially go after that still because it's America. But that's, you know, you can go after anybody for anything. Whether or not the courts hear it is a completely different answer altogether. The programming language namespace. Yeah, exactly. Um, Now you get you get these companies that like get a little bit trigger happy and they go after things. And the problem with the American system is that if you can convince a court to listen to it, uh, even if the court is going to say no, uh, it's going to cost the receiver of that a lot of money, which really, really, really sucks. We see that all the time. So even though like what I'm saying is like, yeah, it shouldn't be there, that's just gonna be like for the most part, like, generally speaking. Rumil, hello. Good morning. I know, it's so fun to be in America. We're very litigation happy. Um, let's see. Yes, they don't say anything about package names with Rust on it, which I believe is stated in here that you cannot use the word Rust in a crate. It's somewhere in here. Okay. You may not use or register in whole or in part the marks as part of your own trademark, service mark, domain name, company name, trade name, product name, or service name. This goes back to what I was saying before. You shouldn't be doing this anyways. Whether or not they allow it or not, never tie yourself too closely to another product. What if you want to switch away? What if you want to like stop associating yourself with Rust? What if they like get canceled? You don't want to be like brought down by them. So therefore, my rule of thumb is create your company as one thing, and then you can create products, and then you can do like Brooks Builds, you know, Rust course. Like I can do that because that's not like my company name. Now product name here is interesting as part of my own trademark product name. So that's interesting. Now, the product that I'm selling is not going to actually be the course name. It's going to be learning. So I can't name my LMS Rust LMS. But again, I don't want to because I have plans for it that maybe go beyond Rust. And so therefore, I'm calling it learning right now. Also, I don't really care. If I need to change it, I'm going to change that. I'm not too sold on the names for that anyways. So things to be considered about if you're ever starting a company is be very, very, very careful about the name of the company and then the products themselves. Products have changed brands and names so often. Like people do that all the time. Like if I were to change something, um, you would still like be aware of it because I would tell you all. Now, if I didn't have any like advertisement or marketing whatsoever, or anybody to like hear me, that would be maybe a different consideration, but also maybe not because I haven't started selling yet. It can be pretty powerful using those names and branding. The Vue ecosystem really benefits in using the Vue name, uh, such as Vuetify, Vue Mastery, etc. People know exactly what to expect from websites like that. It would be a big loss to anyone who'd want to build a website akin to those, but for Rust. Um, yes, and this is where I propose that you set the business name different from the product name, right? So in all of these things, I can get permission to use. And I think that's the key. If I wanted to name my LMS like the Rust Learning, like, Rust Learning, let's say, then I would absolutely send a message to the Rust Foundation or Rust Project or whichever one of them is going to be giving permission, maybe both, and then ask for permission. And if they say yes, I like print that out and frame it and put it on my wall because I am keeping that as my protection for it. I think that's the key is we need permission to use it as part of our like everything else. I can't just go and do this without permission. And a lot of these trademark policies can be overridden with like a specific permission like that's signed by like their attorneys and sent to you. So I think that's something that's important to see is like just don't tie yourself to it. There was okay. So I also absolutely believe that they've made a huge mistake in not having something like this at at go time. Like when they first created their trademark policy, it should have like I would rather them have created it too strict to begin with and then loosened it than create it too loose and then redefine it and like have things become more strict. Something I learned when I was teaching, You you can give things to people. You can never take things away without repercussions. And we're seeing repercussions now. Just don't do it. Like, err on the side of too strict. And if they're trying to do that now, it's way too late. The time was when Mozilla gave up the project. That trademark should have been set right then. Okay, so there's something about in the names of crates. Stacking, hello. You can always do something and beg for forgiveness. Um, Please don't do that. It's bad advice. I don't recommend that you do something and then beg for forgiveness. I recommend asking for permission, getting it, and then doing it. Now, if they change so for example, if they're changing some of the stuff that I'm doing, I will have to stop it, ask for permission, and then I can re-give it back. So sorry if I made that sound like it was beg for forgiveness. That's not what I meant. Also, hello, Stacking. Where is the part that says that I can't create crates with Rust in the name? Oh, sorry, Stack. I'm in serious mode right now, so it's hard for me like to see jokes. But all the regulars know that jokes when I'm in serious mode just go straight over my head, and I absolutely seriously respond to them, which in a way is hilarious. So I sometimes don't worry about it. Okay, maybe I can search for crate name. Okay. Oh, this is in a question. This is in a Q&A. Can I use the word Rust in the name of one of my crates? The project would like the word Rust in a crate name to imply ownership by the project. You should generally use -rs instead in this situation. Please see the marks and tool chains or other software for the use of Rust. Okay, so you see that section. This is 4.3.1. Using the marks in the name of a tool for use in the Rust toolchain, a software program written in the Rust language, or a software program compatible with Rust software will most likely require a license. The RS abbreviation can be used instead. So this is something that just bothers me. And it's actually not because of the use Rust. It's like, okay, that's fine. I get it that they want to be able to say anything that has this word Rust in it is theirs. It's official. You should be able to trust it. What bothers me is that they didn't set up and listen to the community when they set up crates or cargo.net to be namespaced. This would have been solved if they just namespaced crates. All they had to do was say, oh, look, anything that's under this namespace is official. And then you can create your own stuff that's not official. It's very obvious because when you're installing it, you have to put the namespace and then the name of the crate. That's all they had to do. I feel so. I'm creating some of these crates myself for our own use. I've been trying to namespace them with BB dash. For example, if I got really, 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 really big and I wanted to actually defend people using something else, I might consider creating a terms of service and maybe trademark Brooks Builds and then have BB dash be part of that trademark and protect it. Where, hey, if you create a crate with that, I don't do that. But we're not there. I don't really expect to ever get there. I can't say I never will do that because I don't ever want to lock myself out. But that's a consideration. Like they're having to do this here because they failed to do this in like the actual like code, which just is infuriating to me. In the last few minutes before I have to head off to work, any other questions, thoughts that we can look up, see what we can do? This is the original document. So this is the original. Um, this is the original. I have to be careful of this. This is the original document. This is the current one that's in use right now. This is the original proposed document. Their follow-up has been, hey, a lot of people are upset and are sending us messages that are violating the terms of services. Please don't be upset. We will let you know. So we have until April 16th, which so in 3 days. So if you want to get feedback for this, you have 3 days. And then I believe the day after that, I don't actually know if they have that in an official document. It's sometime after that they're going to respond with something. They could respond with, hey, we made changes and now here's the official trademark change. They could respond with another call for content, a comment with a modified version of this document. And they could just say, we're going to stay with our original one. Like there's so many things that they could do. We don't know. We have to wait until they state it. So I followed them. I was like, am I following them on Twitter? I was following them, but I wasn't getting notifications from them. So I was missing all their messages. So I followed both the foundation and the project, and I put little like I rang the bell for it. So that way I should get a push notification when it goes out, and then we can go and take a look at it and see what we're going to have to do. The big thing that we sort of discovered today is that the violation that I'm having for this is in the current system, not in the proposed one. I actually have more permissions in the proposed one because I'm doing so much educational stuff, and that's specifically called out. I'm sure they know the community is concerned and probably don't want to make any rash decisions. I can imagine this ending with everyone being rather satisfied once it's all done. The thing that's concerning to me is that the community, and this has now happened several times, whenever there's something that sort of like the community at large disagrees with, the reaction is very harsh, very fast, and like goes straight to attack mode. Something like I know it's not exactly a one-to-one correlation, but this has reminded me a little bit of the Actix Web event. For those of you who don't know that, Actix Web, the original creator of Actix Web, created the backend framework. So it's a framework very similar to Axum. They created that to win all of the speed contests in the backend frameworks. They wanted it to be at the top of the charts. And so while they're coding stuff, if they ever ran into something that they didn't know how to make faster than everything else, they used unsafe and then just used unsafe. So that code base was littered with unsafe everywhere. But the core why of the project, why it existed in the first place, was satisfied. It wasn't like a bad use of unsafe. It was a good use of unsafe because it was solving the business problem that it was initially meant to solve. The problem was it got to the top of the charts and gained a lot of attention. And so a lot of people wanted to start using Actix Web for their real projects, not just, hey, this is really fast. I want to use this for my company. I want to use this for a hospital. I want to use this for like something that actually needs memory safety. And that level, that number of unsafe was really scary. And the Rust community is kind of big on memory safety. And so we had content creators, we had people on like GitHub chatting about it, so open source, like, on both sides. We had Reddit that was all like piling on of like, this is terrible, this is horrible. There were some defenders, but not really that many. I think like 100 people like signed a little e-document saying, hey, this is okay, we like you. Eventually the maintainer gave ActixWeb Web to other people and quit. Basically, he was run out of town, which was horrible. I don't think that's good. Um, I feel that the same, like the way I'm sort of seeing the similarities here is in the gut reaction. Like the initial reaction is very emotional and not of like, hey, let's look through it and see what I can do. Like I am not going to have to make many changes because I haven't done too many different things. I do have to make a change, and it's not for the new one. It's for the old one, which is why we're going to have to do that tomorrow. So, anything else? It is 8:19, so I don't have too much time. If you get a comment question in the next like minute, then I can answer it. Otherwise, I'll be taking the stream down. Would the Rust Foundation be the Actix owner in this situation? Yes, I think so. I don't know if it would be the Rust Foundation or just actually like the community of Rust itself, like Rust. Um, maybe the trademark Rust is the Actix owner. Now there are people. Maybe it's not the foundation. Like it's not the foundation. It's the people in the foundation. And I think that's sometimes important to remember too, is that these organizations are made up of individuals, and sometimes the individuals, especially in open source projects, make a decision and then send things out for review. It's in the public, and it gets, well, the public. And we all know that like the internet can attract not so friendly people. On top of that, we have a lot of there's a lot of people out there who don't like Rust and take any option to sort of be negative towards it. Twisted Seed, hello. So keep in mind there's also bad actors. You wanna know? What's that on your fur? Where did you get this? What were you doing? Okay, Zilby was clearly summer. He's got like something on his fur. I don't know what that is. You shouldn't have it. Don't do that. All right, so I'm going to, I don't know where I want to save this. I don't know if I want to save this on GitHub itself. Oh wait, still be. Oh. You hope they don't go with the trademark? I think that, well, I think they're going to have to go with a trademark change because the current trademark is interesting because it's very sort of like unknown of what it is. I think that there should be changes to it. I'm not exactly sure what those changes should be. I think they should open things more up and be more explicit for what they allow in educational type content. There'll be no, not the keyboard. Um, I think they should also have a lot more explanations for like how to make sure you're not accidentally Some changes are ridiculous. The website one was crazy. Like which one? Which changes? Website one. Like which changes? I think the original Actix person liked having the hobby and didn't like the clash of people wanting to also use it in production. Yes, exactly. That's understandable that someone would step back when things are no longer our fun hobby. I think the rest found it. Well, here's the thing is, in both sides, we're not seeing communication. We're seeing attack. And you can't have a good conversation if one side is using personal attacks. And that's what we're seeing. Is we're seeing like negativity in a form like in guised as communication. And that's not really a way to like have a discourse. And that's what I mean. That's the similarity that I'm seeing. Because it wasn't just, hey, Actix Web, I think that you should stop doing this. Here's the reasons why. Here's my suggestions. It was more, no, the Rest Foundation has not been attacking. It's everybody else has been attacking Rest Foundation for putting something out there and saying, please give us feedback on this. Like we don't see Rest Foundation going out there and name calling or basically saying, hey, you know, you're horrible, you're stupid. I mean, they've been pretty radio silent since they put this out there, which is what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to say anything, pretty much. The unique visual styling of our website and packaging, the trade dress. Okay, excellent. Yes, this is a good one, and I've gone back and forth on it on like how I feel about it. Let's find trade dress. This is okay. So our logos, the unique visual styling of our trade dress. This policy encompasses all of the above trademarks and service marks, whether word marks, logos, or trade dress, which are collectively referred to as the marks. Some marks may not be registered, but registration does not equal ownership of trademarks. This policy covers our marks. So this is really just, these are definitions, right? Yeah, these are our trademarks. So it's basically saying the design of our website. And what they're doing. Now, I think what's interesting, and I don't know if like we can find anywhere else in here where they say like you can't. It's the full visual style of it. So imagine this scenario. Can you stop people from using your design? Let's look at it from like a couple different points of view. If you want to create a website, you want to create a course and you want to sell it, and you use a design that looks very, very similar to the Rest Foundation, is that going to make it look like the Rest Foundation has endorsed that course? And if the answer is yes, then they're going to try to stop it. And if the answer is no, then the key is to get permission. So ask permission. I want to create the website. This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to copy your exact style, and then you can use it. So the thing is that they want to stop people from using it and pretending to be, or maybe like being easily mistaken by that. That's what the document says. The problem is it's a legal document, which means it is there, but it's not right next to that place. It's everywhere sort of around it. So here, foundation and policy. We want to prohibit creating a likelihood of confusion, but allow for nominative use. So like They're saying that that's what they want to do. You cannot use our logo on your website in a way that suggests that your website is an official website or that we endorse your website. So they're saying things like that. But they also say in a couple different places you can request that you can change. On the scale that is Rust, well, let's look at something else. On the scale that is Rust is nothing compared to the scale that is Microsoft. On the scale that is Apple, Amazon, and if we go and look at their trademarks, they absolutely will go after you. Look at Nintendo. Nintendo does this. If I were to create a website and I were to create video games and I use Nintendo's dress, I would not be long for this business. Disney is another one. They go after people like that all the time. They're huge. They probably have people just looking for that just to go after. So I'd say like the scale of Rust is fairly small compared to those ones. Maybe it's fairly large compared to like, me, but it's still smaller than like Python or some other ones. But they're also a foundation. So that's interesting. We didn't look at it today, but Node.js Foundation is interesting to look at. They have a very similar policy to the proposed one here. You're not supposed to do a lot of things to sort of make it look like you are your product or anything else that's similar to it. And that seems to be what all the wording here, as far as I can tell, is really about. Don't make it easy to mistake this thing with us. And that's it. Now, how feasible is it for them to go after you? Not feasible at all. And enforcement is always a different question than like policy. They can create whatever policy they want. Can they enforce it? Will they enforce it? Who knows? I went online. I didn't ask an attorney yet, but I went online and sort of Googled for retroactive applications of trademarks. So like if you change a trademark, can you how often does you retroactively go back to something? And I don't. The only thing that I found was not in America, so it doesn't apply at all. It was in France, I want to say. And it basically said that it's very rare for a company to retroactively like make a change to a trademark and then retroactively go after anybody who didn't do that. It's possible though, because I don't think that there's anything stating in trademark law that they can't do that. But trademark law is broken in, I think, most of the world. I don't think we can just blame America for this. I think it's just trademark and copyright law sucks. It feels like it's been forever since the Node.io situation. I know. Was it IO? Was it? What was that? It was no. It was That wasn't an LO. It was an IO, right? Yeah, and the Node Foundation, the first thing they did was set that up so you couldn't do that again. You wonder if the Rust Foundation having a live stream to announce things like this would be better for the community to feel at ease. Having the face-to-face communication of them saying it's only a draft may hit better. Fully agree. This is not the first time that the Rust Foundation has done something, said something, and it gets interpreted in a way that is not what they intended. And then sort of shocked Pikachu face. What? How could that be? It's something that I tell my coworkers all the time is if you want to control the message, then do it in person. Don't have it be in writing, be extremely explicit, answer questions right then. If they had created a video of them going through this and describing everything out in detail of like, this is what can be, this is what can't be, and allow questions for that, I don't think we would have the same problem. And um you know what? That's a really good idea. I think I am going to later today go in and put the feedback I'm going to say is like, can you, for whatever the next step is, please have a live stream, or at the very least a video where you go through this and explain it. Like, do something different. Don't just do the same thing and expect a different result. It's not going to work. And then if it's really, really, really bad, like, let's at least wait until like, let's not have our first reactions be to pull out the pitchforks and start sharpening them. Although we in the internet do love a good pitchfork session. It does feel like a game of telephone, doesn't it? Yeah. All right. Well, it is after 8:30, so I have to head off. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning we are going to be updating my starting soon screen, because that is disallowed by the current policy. And now that I have admitted that it's disallowed by the current policy, I can no longer use it. So I will. That's what we'll be doing. We'll figure something out. We can use Ferris, and I can use the Rust logo. I just have to use it small and not make it look like my stuff. So with that, thank you everybody for hanging out with me today. I think like we had a decent conversation with this. So I can resize it. Absolutely. I'm allowed to resize it both in the current and the new one. It's to resize what is it called? It's it does say that I can use the logo as resizing. Okay, scale. That's what it was. Scale. Use of logos. You may not change the logo except to scale it. So that's 7.2.2. I cannot change the color, and I could not change anything else. They do say that they would provide a one that works on black and white. They do not do that right now. And also, the current one does allow any modification. So, anyways, that's something to consider, is that it absolutely does allow the resizing, so scaling, under the proposed version here. So that's not something to worry about. All right. With that, have a great rest of your days, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.